Hi everyone, this is Paige Evans and I am excited to share how this layout came to be. I am featuring some floral cut files from the talented Katie Pertiet. And so first I opened up a new Silhouette Studio and I dragged and dropped the PNG files into this new file. So open up the trace tool, select the trace area. So I just dragged my cursor over both flowers, uncheck high pass filter, and click on trace. Now delete the original PNGs, you don't need them anymore, and the images are ready to be cut. So I cut them from white textured cardstock, and let me see the settings that I used. Adjust cut settings, click on textured cardstock, and so the speed's at 4, and then you want to carefully peel the beautiful flowers off of the mat. So my mat is pretty new, so it's quite sticky, so I had to be extra careful when peeling them off the mat not to tear. It's easiest to just start at one end and peel off the leaves and then keep peeling off. And I just love how that looks on the mat right there. So beautiful. So this is one of my favorite techniques, backing cut files with pattern paper. There are several ways to do this. You can place the template on top and trace with a pencil, cut it out, leaving a little bit of a wiggle room around the edges, and then erase the pencil marks so you can't see them when you are adhering it to the back. So place a little bit of adhesive around the edge of the section that you traced, plop it onto the back, let it dry. And then another way to do this, to save a step, is to turn it over onto the back side of the pattern paper you want to use. And then after you cut it out, again, leave a little bit of excess on the outside edge. You don't have to erase the pencil marks because you're not even going to see them. So once again, add the adhesive. And I did this all off camera, filling in the rest of the flowers. So I used like pinks and colors for the flowers and the blues and greens for the leaves. And here they are, finished. Took a couple of hours. And sometimes when you get to spots, you don't even have to trace them anymore because it doesn't matter what shape it is, you won't see it. So I just used a rectangle piece of pattern paper, covered it up, added a little bit of tape for extra security, and it was done. So I'm using 2 pictures of my daughter, Jane, on her first day of preschool. It's her 2nd year, and I'm at this point choosing a background paper, and the first 2 were a little busy, so I ended up going with this yellow ombre paper in my Take Me Away collection with Pink Paislee. Trim off that pattern paper barcode, save it for a future project. And then I wanted to figure out the placement. So I've got 1 large flower, 1 smaller flower grouping, and I want my photos in between and underneath, so they're framed by these lovely florals. Once I figured out the placement, I snapped a quick photo with my phone so I could refer back to it. And now I want to adhere the flowers with foam squares so that there's a bit of dimension. I like the shadows that it creates when using a little bit of foam or dimensional adhesive. So once you've got enough to get a good coverage, go ahead and place it on your layout. Make sure everything's right where you want it, and then add more adhesive to the larger floral die cut and carefully put it in place. Gotta make sure it's just right to frame the pictures exactly how I want it. Now it's time to embellish, and since it's a school theme, I chose to use books and office supplies as my embellishments. So I'm just tucking them under, incorporating them into the background a bit. Everything is from my Take Me Away collection. I had this pattern paper bow left over from a previous project, so I added it right there on top, just for a cute little embellishment. I ended up not using that Today is Awesome sticker, but it was right there for then. The title of this layout is With Brave Wings She Flies. I ended up moving that over to the left so it wasn't so prominent in the center. A trio of foam heart thicker stickers. I like grouping things in threes. And I use a pencil to write the journaling first to make sure I like it. I did like it there, so I went ahead and wrote it with a pen. And I'm crinkling up the flowers and leaves for even more dimension. The last step is to apply some stamping using the roller stamp. Just a few flowers on the bottom left and the top right, so they're mirrored. And I'm using a pen, a gray pen, just so it's not so contrasted, so not so dark. The gray lightens it up just a little bit. And that is the finished layout. I hope you were inspired to try some of the Katie Pertiet cut files. And thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe so you know when all of my videos are posted.